Monica Beets, the quiet force behind gold. Russia's mining dynasty in the harsh and unforgiving wilderness of a Yukon gold is more than a precious metal, it's a way of life. Few families embody this reality more than the Beets clan led by Tony Beets, the loud iron-willed patriarch, whose mining empire has become a fixture on Discovery Channel's Gold Rush. But behind a clamor of heavy machinery and roaring personalities lies a quieter, more nuanced story, one that belongs to his daughter Monica Beets. Born on November 7, 1993, Monica grew up surrounded by permafrost dredges and diesel engines. As the youngest of four siblings, she was raised in a world defined by grit, manual labor, and relentless ambition. Her father, Tony Beets, built a $15 million fortune through sheer will and hard work. Monica, however, wasn't interested in fame or fortune. She was after something else: respect, skill, and a legacy forged on her own terms. Monica's mining journey didn't begin with guidance or fanfare. At just 12 years old, Tony handed her the keys to a front-end loader, told her to figure out, and walked away alone in a massive machine she barely understood. Monica began her education to beach way through trial, error, and raw determination. That moment set the tone for her career. Face the challenge, figure out, and push through. By 18, Monica had climbed the ranks to become a supervisor at Paradise Hill, one of the family's most productive mining claims. She led crews, managed breakdowns, and made tough calls in high-stakes situations. In an industry dominated by men, Monica earned her place not through her last name, but through competence and quiet confidence. She didn't ask for credit, but those around her quickly saw that she was a leader, calm under pressure, tough when needed, and deeply knowledgeable about the mining process. Her role on Gold Rush made her a fan favorite. Audiences connected with her no-nonsense attitude, natural leadership, and the unique perspective she brought to the show. While her brothers Kevin and Mike also play important roles in the family business, Kevin as a mechanic and Mike previously as a supervisor, Monica stood out for the balance she brought: grit matched with grace, authority paired with humility. Despite her contributions, Monica's path was not without frustration. Tony repeatedly promised her a claim of her own, a chance to lead her own operation and stake her name in the family empire. Yet season after season, the promise remained unfulfilled. Finally, Monica was granted a Hester Cut, a 3-acre section of land believed to be rich with gold left behind by old-time dredgers. For Monica, the Hester Cut was more than a piece of ground. It was her opportunity to prove herself on her own terms. But mining in the Yukon is never easy. Equipment failures, harsh weather, and logistical delays made the Hester Cut an uphill battle. Monica poured herself into project, showing up every day despite the setbacks, even when her name was left off the ownership documents, and her efforts went unrecognized. She stayed and pushed forward. It wasn't for the cameras or the paycheck, it was because that's who Monica Beets is. Although her net worth was once estimated at around $500,000, recent reports suggest she earns roughly $200,000 for season of Gold Rush, bringing her total estimated net worth to about $2 million. Still, that figure pales in comparison to Tony Beets' estimated $15 million fortune. But ask anyone who's worked beside her or simply watched her in action, and they'll tell you Monica's true wealth isn't in gold, it's in her grit, loyalty, and the invisible work she's done to keep the Beets operation running. When Monica stepped away from mining, whether temporarily or permanently, it shook the Beets family and entire crew. Her absence wasn't just a loss of a worker, it was the absence of a steady hand, a quiet leader who never asked for credit, but kept everything moving forward. Even Tony, known for his stoicism, couldn't ignore the emotional void her departure created. It wasn't her earnings that brought tears to her family's eyes, it was a realization of how much she had given without ever demanding anything in return. Monica's personal life has evolved over the years as well. In 2018, she married Taylor Miles, and in 2021 they welcomed their first child, a baby girl. The family now lives in Toronto, Canada, far from a Yukon's rugged terrain, yet even as she embraces marriage and motherhood, Monica remains deeply rooted in the values of hard work, loyalty, and perseverance that define her upbringing. Her story is one of quiet determination in a world that often celebrates volume over value, in an industry where brute force is often mistaken for leadership. Monica Beets prove that there's power and calm, that leadership doesn't acquire shouting, and that real wealth lies in character, not currency. Whether she returns to the Yukon mines or not, Monica's legacy is already etched into the bedrock of Gold Rush. She redefined what it means to be part of the Beets empire, not by inheriting it, but by earning her place in it. She didn't just survive in one of the most physically and emotionally demanding environments on Earth, she thrived, and in the end, that's the kind of fortune no one can measure in ounces or dollars. It's a fortune that comes from sacrifice, integrity, and the kind of strength that doesn't need to announce itself to be felt.